Welcome to the Happiness and Meaning of Life show. I'm your host, Marilyn Tam. Each show, I interview a person of accomplishment who is living a life of meaning and purpose and happiness. Each one is following their own path. We'll learn their insights on creating a joyous, purposeful, and rewarding life. You can learn more on how to have a happy, healthy, and productive life of meaning and purpose on my website, marilyntam.com. Welcome. Hello and welcome. Today, I'm delighted to be speaking with Sandra Yancey. Sandra Yancey is a community builder and founder and CEO of eWomenNetwork, a multi-million-dollar success story who understands the challenges of raising a family, maintaining a beautiful 38-year marriage, and giving back. She is recognized by CNN as an American hero and CEO of her award-winning international business, helping women succeed in launching, growing, and scaling their business. Sandra, so great to see you again.
It's always great to see you, Marilyn. This is long overdue, and I couldn't want to be in a better place in this moment than with you.
Oh, thank you so much. And as you know, we've been having so many issues in our country and in the world about judgments, division, and fear. So I thought you would be a great person to talk to about happiness, because you have found the beautiful combination between work and personal life and your family and giving back. So what is happiness to you?
Happiness to me ultimately is saying yes to what I want to say yes to, and no to what I want to say no to.
Mhm.
You know, there's yes, I want to go out, and right now my dog is sleeping at my feet, and it's yes to wanting to go out and get some fresh air and take him for a walk.
Uh-huh.
Right? It's no, I'm not going to participate in that conversation. It doesn't align with my values. And it is doing that in a place of peace, in a place of not feeling like I have to try to convince someone who is committed to misunderstanding me in the first place. Right?
Yeah.
But what I know is that happiness and joy is contagious. I mean, hatred is contagious, and I know that happiness is contagious too. And a dear friend of mine, may he rest in peace now, Zig Ziglar, um, often said that, you know, basically success isn't for the chosen few, it's for the few who choose it. And in many ways, I think the same is true for happiness. It's not for the chosen few, it's for those who decide to choose it, right? Because if you decide, you know, I think what you think about is what you bring about, and where your energy goes is what grows. And when you put great thoughts in your head, and when you put energy into good things, it just fosters, you know, joy and happiness.
Mhm. So how does that relate to your meaning of life? Because that's what everybody is looking for, to understand why they're here on this planet and how they can achieve that.
Yeah, well, it's a great question. And I do think that we are all here for a reason. I fundamentally believe that. And I also believe that we all have the capability to achieve great things. We may not have the abilities, but we have the capabilities. And I always believe that, you know, your dream kind of comes from within you. Your success comes from who's beside you, because no one makes it alone, right? So finding out that why is a big question, and it's a question that sometimes the answers for some comes quite easily, and they know very early. And for others of us, it takes a while. I was 40 years old when I started eWomenNetwork, and it was never in my vision prior to, just a couple of years before starting it. I never thought about creating a great network of entrepreneurial women who wanted to be in an environment where we believed that there was enough for everyone, and we needed to share our contacts, resources, and information, and that reciprocity would create this incredible momentum and life of abundance. So for me, it came later in life, but I kept asking the question. And for me, asking the question is, sitting and listening to my heart, because my mind is always in overdrive. I think your heart has a language that your mind doesn't understand. And so getting quiet, the power of meditation, the power of journaling, the power of not just journaling my dreams, but finding the dreams within the life I was living, you know? So being reflective and gaining understanding from that, as well as looking forward. I think it's about, understanding what's truly important to me.
Mhm.
Right. And that's, of course, my family is really important to me. My friends are important to me. Being healthy is important to me. And that doesn't mean that I'm perfect in any of those, but it does mean that I believe. I just think the things that you take for granted get taken away. So I try not to take them for granted. I notice when I'm off center, when things aren't right. That helps me make a conscious effort to make new and improved choices. But I think your why is a really big deal. Understanding why you're here. What is it that you want? I do believe in social responsibility. So I do believe that, it's important for everyone to be thinking about, how can I make the world a better place for a future I will never see? How do I contribute in a way that the world becomes more meaningful in a rippling effect, for my granddaughter's granddaughter, who I know I will never see?
Uh-huh.
Helps me think about how I show up in her life, how I make time to show up in her life, how I use that time when I show up in her life, right? And so getting to your why is different for everyone. That comes from within, but you have to give yourself enough priority to, if you don't know what that is, to give yourself permission and priority to find it.
Mhm. So if I'm hearing you, you're saying that your meaning of life is valuing and treasuring and spending time and supporting the people you love, your community, your family, and of course yourself. And that also serving everyone. So what you do create in your company, serving and supporting women,
Mm.
is very much part.
Yeah, I think that I help women, and the lives that they create has a ripple effect for a future and for generations of people I will never know and I will never see. But my mother always said, um, the best kind, I mean, giving in any way is a great thing, but the best kind of giving is helping people who will never pay you back,
Mhm.
because they can't. It's really that true, ultimate gift that you put out there. It's not tit for tat and you scratch my back and I'll scratch yours, or quid pro quo. It's about just doing good because you can,
Mhm.
right? And uh, my little mantra, you and I hadn't talked about this, but my new mantra for 2021 is, that, money does buy happiness. And if you don't believe me, you simply haven't given enough away.
Ah, absolutely. So that kind of segues into the next question is what makes you happy? Because you sort of in a
Yeah.
way explaining it. So what one thing you would say that makes you happy?
One of the things that makes me happy is, it's funny. It's on the receiving side. It's the things like my son yesterday called me out of nowhere and FaceTime me. He's 26 years old. And he said, "I just want to see you, Mom. I just want to see you to let you know I'm thinking about you. I love you. How's your day going?" I mean, that makes me happy. That's on the receiving side. And because of that, I try to do the same to others. I figure whatever, brings me joy, I wouldn't be surprised if it also doesn't bring other people joy. And people love to be thought about. They love to be seen. They love to be heard, right? And so it makes me say, you know what? I'm going to make a few phone calls. That makes me happy.
Mhm. So understanding that we are no different. Whatever we want for ourselves, other people want for
I think
themselves.
so.
So that actually brings us to the next thing, which
Yeah.
is what would you like to be remembered for?
I would like to be remembered most as being the woman that helped others achieve their dreams.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah, that's really pretty crystal clear for me. I get up every day. That's
Mhm.
all I've ever done for 22 years, thinking about how can I help uh, women business owners,
Mhm.
really achieve the dreams, because success is really hard, but, being broke is harder. But the hardest of all is having an unfulfilled dream,
Mhm.
and so you got to pick your hard, and that's what I always say, pick your hard. The stuff isn't easy, pick your hard.
Yeah.
And, but I know that when we do it together, I do believe fundamentally that, to whom much is given, much is required. And I have been given a lot. I was raised on welfare, single parent, first generation American, all of that. But I have achieved a tremendous amount through a lot of people, in some cases that I've paid for, coaches and masterminds and educations. But guess what? I've also had a lot of people that have seen a little flicker in me, that they've said that they've wanted to invest their time, their talent, their connections, their reputation in creating opportunities for me that have helped me leverage the level of success that I have today. So I certainly haven't done um, most of this on my own. Um, and I just feel like, to whom much is given, much is required, and now it's my responsibility to pay it forward.
Well, and you're doing a fabulous job and it's inspiring.
Mhm.
So for somebody who's listening to this or watching this and said, well, how can I be happier? Because you obviously are happy, you're living a great life. How can
Mhm.
I be happier?
Well, let me just say that I'm not happy every minute of every day. So I just want to say, but what I know is where I want to be. And so that helps me when I'm not in a good place or a happy place. Say, this, that you don't like this space. So what are you going to take responsibility to do in order to make the shift you need to make? Right. And so, what I would say is that to someone is, you have every right to be happy. You deserve to be happy. You have the power to be happy. And if you don't know how to leverage those things, it's okay. No one makes it alone. But don't sit in the unknowing, right? Insert yourself in the opportunities to help learn, whether you get on Google, right? Or you get a good book, or you listen to a free YouTube meditation, or you take, a journal or scrap pieces of paper, and you not just write down necessarily the things you feel grateful for, but what I love to do is I love to recreate the best thing that happened to me the day before. Sometimes I have to dig a little deep. Sometimes it's just about waking up and breathing and being able to put my feet on the floor, right? So sometimes you have to dig deep. But when you start to remember the blessings, and there are big blessings and little blessings, but when you remember the span of the kinds of blessings you have in your life, you start to realize that things aren't sometimes as bad as we can allow them to be. Puts it in perspective, reminds that there was something wonderful that happened yesterday, and it makes me say, so what am I going to create today?
Uh-huh. That's so great. Basically saying that we have the power to choose,
Yeah.
knowing that we can be happy, we deserve to be happy, and all we have to do is start wherever you are, taking that
Yeah.
first step, whether it's just opening up your computer,
Yes.
book, or
You
calling
don't have
up
to.
somebody,
Yeah.
do something. Just
Yeah, you don't have to spend money on it. You can't say, I'm broke, I can't do all of that. You can get quiet. You can go onto YouTube, listen to a powerful meditation. You can do a search on the internet. You can open up a book. You don't have access to that. Okay, so take a scrap sheet of paper. Take a piece of paper out of the trash, a back of an envelope, if you have to. You know what I mean? And those bills that you can't stand and you wonder how you're going to pay, take that bill out, use the envelope to write something powerful and meaningful, and something that you're thankful for, a blessing that you've had. I mean, it all starts with those little things, and they do add up, I think, to really, really big things.
absolutely. So Any additional thoughts you want to give to our listeners, our viewers?
I would say, and obviously I quote my mother, she was a huge influence in my life. This woman who was an orphan, raised in Mexico by the nuns, came here to the United States because she thought it was the land of opportunity to meet the man of her dreams. And she did. And unfortunately, a long life together wasn't meant to be. My father died on my birthday when I turned 5 years old. And my mother, that didn't have that formal education, had a really rough life. She had wisdom, and that wisdom has carried me through some of my darkest times, more than any other thing that's ever that I've ever had the chance to tap into was my mother's wisdom. And she always said, and this is a beautiful thing, and I leave everyone with this, and that is, give without remembering
Mm,
and take without forgetting.
mm.
And that to me is another wonderful way to live a happy life.
I don't think there's anything more to say after that. That was so powerful. Give without remembering and take without forgetting. Yes.
It's beautiful, right?
Oh, powerful.
Yeah.
Ah,
A woman of very few words, and very powerful,
mhm.
for sure.
Well, thank you, Sandra. That was absolutely beautiful. If they want to find out more about you or your network, would you give them the website of your?
Sure. It's very simple. It's eWomenNetwork, eWomenNetwork.com.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Sandra. Happiness to you always.
Happiness to you, my dear friend.